Mondosi's lineup tonight has Lenny Dykstra, center fielder, leading off. Mariano Duncan, shortstop, bats second. John Kruk, first baseman, hitting third. Darren Dalton catching, batting fourth. Pete Incaviglia, the left fielder, will hit fifth. Wes Chamberlain, right field, bats sixth. Kim Baptiste at third base, hitting seventh. Mickey Morandini, the second baseman, batting eighth, and batting ninth and pitching Tommy Green. That lineup facing the left-hander Brian Barnes.
He has a win and a loss. About 4.5 strikeouts per 9 innings, a little over 4 walks per 9 innings. Has a screwball. That's probably could be considered his out pitch.
Defensively behind Barnes, Mike Lansing at third base. Will Cordero is the shortstop. Delino DeShields at second. Frank Bolick at first. Doing the catching tonight is Darren Fletcher in the outfield from left to right. Moises Alou, Marquise Grissom, and Larry Walker. Umpires tonight, Jerry Crawford calling the balls and strikes. Rich Reeker at first base. Steve Ripley at second, and Jim Quick umpiring at third. One game played this afternoon. The Cubs beat Florida 3-0. Frank Castillo won that one. Charlie Huff, the loser. Randy Myers recorded his 20th save for Chicago. Lenny Dykstra leads it off for the Phils. Dude hitting a .278. Leads the league in runs scored with 54. Fourth in the league in walks. Lifetime against Brian Barnes, a .214 hitter. It's just the fifth start for Barnes. He had been working out of the bullpen, but they moved him into the starting rotation. Fastball on the outside corner, 1 strike. Barnes, 26 years old. He's from Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina. 4th round draft pick by the Expos in the June '89 draft. 1 ball and 1 strike.
A special birthday today, Harry. Taylor Ashburn.
All right.
Little 3-year-old of Richard and Lisa's. Great little guy.
Great Taylor. TR, right? Isn't his middle name Richard?
Yes. They don't call him TR.
Taylor. Okay. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Dykstra.
That will be shortened to Ty when he gets a little older.
Ooh. Just missed with the breaking ball. That was close. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
He's made some good pitches on Lenny. Those 2 fastballs, and then that breaking ball was close, right?
High with a fastball. Left-hand hitters hit this guy better than right-hand hitters. In his career, left-handers have about a 10-point higher batting average. It kind of takes away that circle change, which is his out pitch. Learned that pitch from Bill Landrum when he was at Clemson. Fouled out of play. Led the nation in strikeouts as a senior in college while at Clemson University. He was an All-American.
Frances Young in Allentown celebrating her 87th today.
Sharon Lutz of Philadelphia, 36 years of age, celebrating today. Line drive into right field. Walker can't get it, over his head. Dykstra will roll into second with his 19th double of the year.
I tell you, they keep playing Dykstra short, and he keeps hitting it over their head. He hit one over Grissom's head last night. That line drive, it looked like Walker thought he had a beat on it. Hit a high fastball, probably a ball, but got a little more out of that. Just out of Walker's reach. Keep playing shallow out there. They do take some hits away from the hitters, though.
Here's Mariano Duncan batting at .260. Lifetime, he's 4 for 10 against Brian Barnes. Beats the ball down the third base side. Lansing throws him out.
Whoa.
Dykstra alertly moves up to third. So Dykstra committed as soon as Lansing released the ball and moves up to third base. Good base running by Lenny, and Mariano Duncan, who wanted to move him, appreciates it.
See, he gave him a peek and then took his eyes off, and not even a throw. It wasn't even close. Infield is coming in tight.
For John Kruk. Krucker hitting at .353, fourth best in the league. And Andres Galarraga finally has enough at-bats to be eligible for the top 10, and he is leading the league at .425. Kruk leads the league in on-base percentage, 8th in the league in slugging percentage, leads the league in walks, tied for 3rd in the league in runs scored. Looks like there's some sort of insect flying around the home plate. Kruk is grabbing at. One ball and one strike to Kruk. Louis DeFrancesco celebrating a birthday tomorrow. He'll be 10 tomorrow. Birthday wishes from us and from his sister Lauren in Havertown. Great Phillies fan. Wide, 2-1.
Phillies had a pitcher a few years ago. You remember him, John Boozer. He would have eaten that bug. Used to kind of upset some of his teammates.
I can imagine. 2 balls and a strike. Good hitting situation for Kruk with the infield in. Grissom really shallow in center, as he always is. 3 balls and a strike.
Earl and Mary Kane in Horsham married 64 years today.
Darren Daulton waits on deck. The infield now is moved back with the count, 3-1, and Kruk walks. So Kruk walks for the 53rd time. He leads the league in that department. Runners at first and third with 1 out for Darren Daulton. Dutch batting .251. He's second in the league in runs batted in with 52. Second in the league in walks. Tied for 3rd in the league in runs scored. Montreal play the infield at double play depth. Lifetime against this left-hander. Dalton's 2 for 9 with a home run. In his short major league career, the Phillies have beaten Brian Barnes more than any other team in the league. He is 1-6 lifetime against the Phils with a career ERA of .488. One ball and one strike. One of the reasons perhaps that left-handers hit him better than right-handers is that he doesn't like to throw his changeup to left-hand hitters. Kind of flops into their zone.
Takes away his best pitch.
Two balls and a strike.
Rick and Josephine Colley in Southwest Philadelphia married 52 years today.
Three balls and a strike.
Another good hitting spot for Daulton. Should get Barnes's fastball.
Smacks it off the tip of the glove of the first baseman Bolick. A base hit. Dykstra scores. Kruk has to hustle to second. Phillies lead it 1-0. RBI number 53 for Dalton, who's tied for the league lead now and runs batted in.
And that ball was hit so hard that Bolick got leather on it, couldn't hold it. Kruk was headed back towards first, which was where he should have been headed because of the line drive. He really rolled those wrists right off the end of that first baseman's mitt.
Phil's lead 1-0, and the batter is Pete Incaviglia, batting at .311. Incaviglia tied for 7th in the league and runs batted in now with 44. 44 RBIs on 46 hits. One ball and one strike. Tapper out in front of the plate. Fletcher goes to third. Alertly, they're going to get a double play because Incaviglia did not get out of the box. Good play by Darren Fletcher. It's a 2-5-3 double play, and that will retire the Phils here in the first. Phillies got a first inning run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left. After 1/2, Phils 1. Montreal coming to bat.
Our values are changing these days. People are reconsidering what to do with their money. And while just about everyone else is trying to sell you a $15,000 automobile with some interesting standard features, we'd like you to consider an automobile from under $7,000 with some interesting options on what to do with the rest of your money. The Excel from Hyundai. Cars that make sense.
What could a minute cost if your 800 service goes down? If you're a player on Wall Street, $910,000. But with us, you're always in the game. Introducing the AT&T 800 service Never Miss a Call guarantee. Now if there's a problem, we can reroute your calls in less than a second. Sign up for the Never Miss a Call guarantee. It's the #1 reason AT&T 800 service is always the smartest play. AT&T, the best in the business. Guaranteed.
It's a replica of a 1933 Phillies cap, free for men 15 and over. Compliments of Texaco when the Phillies play the new Florida Marlins Sunday, June 20th at 1:35. Great way to cap off a weekend. Call 463-1000.
Felipe Alou's Montreal lineup tonight has Delino DeShields, second baseman, leading off. Mike Lansing, third base, bats second. Marquise Grissom, center field, hitting third. Larry Walker, right field, bats fourth. Frank Bolick, first baseman, hitting fifth. Moises Alou in left field, bats sixth. Darren Fletcher, the catcher, hitting seventh. Will Cordero, shortstop, bats eighth. And batting ninth and pitching Brian Barnes. They're facing Tommy Green.
Tommy Green is 8-0. A little over 2 walks per 9 innings for Green. Almost 8 strikeouts per 9 innings. Tommy flirted with a loss in Shea Stadium, but the Phillies came back and won that ball game, first of that 4-game series.
Defensively behind Tommy Green, Kim Baptiste at third, Mariano Duncan at shortstop, Mickey Morandini at second, John Kruk at first, Darren Dalton catching. In the outfield, Pete Incaviglia in left, Lenny Dykstra in center, and Wes Chamberlain in right. DeShields leads it off. He's hitting at .252. Fouls it out of play.
I think Green went back in the lead in ERA, didn't he?
Yeah, he leads the league in ERA at 2.27. Leads the league in opponents batting against. Opponents are hitting just .195 against him. Tied for the league lead in strikeouts per 9 innings, 7.8. Second in the league in complete games, tied for second with one behind teammate Terry Mulholland. 1 ball and 2 strikes to DeShields. DeShields is hitting a lot better against left-hand pitching than right. 307 against left-hand pitching, 222 against right-hand pitching. He's out of there, called out on strikes. Terry Mulholland, who came 2 outs away from completing another game. He leads the league in complete games with 6 of them. Tommy Green has 5 complete games. They came in succession before his outing at Shea Stadium. Teammate Kurt Schilling also with 5, and Doug Drabek of Houston has 5. Here's Mike Lansing hitting at 282. Ooh. You could hear that up here.
Well, Green didn't want to do that with that 1-run lead. 2 Phillies hitters got plunked last night with pitches, but there's no retaliation involved. They didn't want to hit anybody last night the way they were pitching. He got that on the left arm, I believe. Take a look here and we'll see for sure.
Right around the elbow.
That's where that crazy bone is.
Really had to sting. Lansing is going to stay in the game. And the batter will be Marquise Grissom. Grissom hitting .323, 10th best in the league. Has a 13-game hitting streak, hitting .396 in the last 13.
Frank Shrupacheski, I believe it is, in Philadelphia. 75 today.
One ball and no strikes. Tommy, in his outing at New York, when he was knocked out in the 2nd inning, did not have good command. He pitched behind hitters, walked 3 in the inning and 2/3 that he pitched.
Big lead for Lansing.
Ground ball past the diving Duncan, base hit. Juggled by Dykstra. Lansing had stopped, and Dykstra compounds it by throwing to 3rd. That'll be a single and an error on Dykstra. Lansing goes to 3rd on the error. Grissom goes to 2nd on the throw.
Well, that was really from about a foot away from a double play ball, but Lenny, anybody can boot a ball, but then he shouldn't have thrown to 3rd, giving Grissom that extra base at 2nd.
So Lansing at 3rd, Grissom at 2nd. Grissom now has a 14-game hitting streak, and the batter is Larry Walker hitting at .278. The lifetime .300 hitter against Tommy Green takes a fastball. Great Kane Smith in attendance tonight, sends along his best to his children watching in the Delaware Valley. 1 strike to Walker. Missed down and in, 1-1.
Fred Daniel in Troopsburg, 70 today.
Back through the middle, base hit center field. Lansing scores. Here's Grissom. Throw cut off. He scores. And Montreal takes a 2-1 lead here in the bottom of the 1st. A 2-run single by Larry Walker.
He ripped this ball back through the middle, out away from him. Green in his follow through in no position to field the ball.
That'll bring on Frank Bolick, the switch hitter. He's hitting at .241. 3 homers. He's knocked in 16. Larry Johnny Walker at first base. 1 out, 2 runs across. Walker got a big jump. Good throw by Dalton, but because of the jump, Walker steals his 8th stolen base. He's only been thrown out once. Montreal as a team leads the league in stolen bases.
Yeah, Dalton couldn't have made any better throw. I tell you, that was close too.
One ball and no strikes to Frank Bolick. On the outside corner, 1-1. Tommy Green, who had not given up a run in this ballpark in his career, has surrendered 2 here in the first. Popped him up behind third. Shortstop Mariano Duncan is called off by Incaviglia, who makes the grab for out number 2. And that will bring on Moises Alou. Alou hitting at .286, hit his 5th home run of the year here last night. He's knocked in 31. Phillies will be conducting a tryout camp tomorrow at University of Delaware in Newark, Delaware, 10 a.m. Non-drafted players invited to attend. Bring your ball, glove, and spikes. Jack Pastore, Mage McDonald, Rob Holliday, Ken Holtzapfel, and all the Phil's crack scouting staff will be on hand tomorrow at 10 a.m. in Newark. He smokes it, but foul down the left field side. 1-1. Never know. There's some pretty good non-drafted players in the major leagues right now. One of them was scheduled to pitch tomorrow. He will not pitch because he has a groin muscle pull. But Ken Hill was a non-drafted player.
And one of them was just in our booth. Kent DeCulvey was non-drafted.
Fouls it back and out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Looks like Green has pretty good stuff on his pitches. His location hasn't been all that great. Pitch that Walker hit was up and out over the plate where Walker likes it. Ooh.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Ground ball past Baptiste down the left field line. Walker will score. It'll be a hit for Alou, and the Expos now lead it 3-1.
Baptiste might have caught that ball had he gotten the glove down. The ball went under his glove. See, that pitch was up and right over the plate. Not a good pitch. See, Baptiste got the glove there, but he didn't have it down. I don't know if he'd have thrown Alou out, but he would have saved a run. And Alou might try to steal a base. He's stolen a dozen.
Fletcher, the batter, hitting at .240. Green paying attention to Alou. Alou hadn't been thrown out. He's 12 out of 12. runs across for Montreal here in the first. Expos lead at 3-1.
The Expos like because they have a lead, and they'll run. They'll try to run you right out of the ballpark. A lot of players on this club can steal.
Just about up and down the lineup, except the hitter Darren Fletcher's not a base stealer, but the rest of them pretty much are. Cordero, the 8-hole hitter, will steal. 1 ball and no strikes to Darren Fletcher. The end of the bat into shallow left center, and Duncan will put it away, and that will retire the side. But Montreal scores 3 in the inning. 3 hits, 1 Philly error, 1 man left after 1. 3-1 Montreal.
When Bob borrowed a lawnmower, all he got was short grass. When Bob borrowed hedge clippers, all he got was nice shrubs. When Bob borrowed a ladder, all he got was red shutters. When Bob borrowed a hose, all he got was wet. But when Bob borrowed money, he got indispensable banking services. The Mellon PSFS Smart Accounts. The package accounts for people who borrow as well as save.
We'd like you to take a good look at a very here. Check it out from the rear corner. Sure. And at just $18,995. The car's not the only thing that looks great. Hey, I don't write them. I just read them.
Hey, it's Montreal 3 and the Phils 1. Upcoming Phillies telecasts include tomorrow night's game against the Expos on Sports Channel and Thursday night's game against the Marlins on Prism. Both games at 7:30. Wes Chamberlain leads off for the Phils. Wes hitting at .264, 7 homers. He has knocked in 20. Brian Barnes' lifetime has given Chamberlain fits. He's 1 for 18 lifetime against this left-hander. Chase that changeup a lot.
Changeup, Wes goes after it and gets fooled on that pitch by many times.
Starting with a fastball. Thrown a lot more fastballs than in any games we can recall so far in the early going as Barnes.
Of course, 3 of the hitters he's faced have been left-hand hitters, and he won't throw that pitch to the left-handers.
Breaking ball for a called strike.
I think the pitch he got in Cavilla on was a changeup. I believe that.
Yeah, I think it was.
Changeup that was down, and Incaviglia topped it right in front of the plate.
No balls and 2 strikes. Chamberlain out on strikes on a breaking ball on the inside corner. That's 1 down. That'll bring on Kim Baptiste.
Looked like Wes waited for that changeup. 3 pitches, never got it. Fastball and 2 sliders or curves, whatever he calls that pitch. It's kind of a big break for a slider, and
here's Kim Baptiste with 1 down. Drops a base hit into right field, so Baptiste is a 1-out base runner for Mickey Morandini. Morandini batting at .243. That average has slowly been going up the last couple of weeks. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Phillies and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the Phillies. Baptiste at first with 1 down. Foul tip. Bill Dancy has the Clearwater Phillies 19 games over 500. They clinched a tie for the first half, at least a tie for the first half, and a 11-5 win last night over Fort Lauderdale. They have won 8 in a row. 1 ball and 1 strike to Morandini. Jason Moeller had 3 more hits for Clearwater last night. Two and 1. To Morandini. Montreal leading 3-1. We're in the second inning. In the outside corner, a full count.
I think Batiste will run, even though the Phillies are 2 down. Nope, saved.
Foul back by Mickey.
That's the risk of him running, is if Morandini should strike out and Batiste thrown out at second, then you have Tommy Green leading off the next inning, although Green can be a dangerous hitter.
Felipe Alou and Tim Johnson in Montreal's dugout. Morandini's aboard with a walk, the second given up by Barnes. Phillies with 2 men on base and 1 out for Tommy Green. Green hitting a 172. He has 1 home run. Coming at Colorado lifetime, he's hit 3 homers. 1 of them off Brian Barnes. Hit that one at Veterans Stadium. Montreal looking for a bunt. And Green is around the bunt, but takes it high. I believe I'd give Tommy a hack.
Sure. Now, especially that he has a ball on him, and more than likely see a fastball. Have so many infielders on the move. Can hit a ball sharply somewhere on the turf. Could cause the Expos a lot of trouble.
He was swinging and he takes it low. It's 2-0. He was not bunting, and I probably will not be bunting here either. He'll look for a fastball to drive. Grissom is really playing shallow in center and Walker in right. Tommy Green, if he gets a fastball, can drive the ball. On the inside corner, it's 2-1.
Expos still kind of looking for the bunt.
Chops it foul. It's 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Tommy Green. Kim Batiste at second, Mickey Morandini at first with 1 out here in the second. Called out on strike. Second strikeout for Barnes. 2 down here in the second. It'll bring up Lenny Dykstra, who doubled his first time up and scored a run. He has scored a run now in 10 straight games. Leads the league in runs scored with 55. Dykstra asking second base umpire Steve Ripley to move, which he does.
Nice of him to do that. Some of those umpires aren't doing that anymore. Saw Joe West do it with Dykstra at bat. Terry Tata did it. Also refused to move.
On the outside corner, 1 strike to Dykstra. Base hit, right field. Baptiste held at third base. Respecting the arm of Larry Walker and the fact that he does play shallow. So the Phillies have the bases loaded, 2 outs.
Hit that slider and really ripped it. And Walker is playing so short, has one of the best arms in baseball, and that wasn't a great throw there. It was up the line a little bit, but Larry Bowa didn't know that. Walker is an accurate thrower most of the time.
So it's up to Mariano Duncan, who grounded to third base his first time up. Bills have him loaded with 2 outs, trailing 3-1. One ball and no strikes. Bouncing ball up the middle, fielded by Cordero. A wide throw, safe all around. Baptiste scores. It's 3-2. And we'll have to wait and see how they score it. He had to hurry his throw.
Chased a bad pitch, a low pitch, but it turned out all right for him. I think a good throw, and Dunk would have been out. I think they scored it a hit, though.
Infield single for Duncan. Give him a run batted in. And it brings on John Kruk. No, it's not a hit. It's an error.
Kind of rough scoring there. That Cordero was way over on the other side of second base when he fielded the ball.
1 ball and no strikes. Kruk walked his first time up. 2 balls and no strikes. So with a scoring an error on Cordero, this run will be unearned. Any subsequent runs will be unearned in this inning. Fouls it out of play. It's 2-1. Montreal leading 3-2. We're in the second inning. Bills have the bases loaded with 2 outs. Three balls and a strike. And Kruk should get a fastball to hit here. There's no room on base for him.
Statue of Liberty.
Slams the ball to center, but Grissom is right there and makes the catch to retire the side. Phil's got an unearned run, 1 run in the inning, 2 hits, 1 error, leave them loaded. We go to the bottom of the second. It's 3-2 Montreal. The Upper Deck Heroes baseball game, 10th reunion of the 1983 NL champion Phil's, coming up on Saturday night at Veterans Stadium. That'll start at 6. Then the Phil's and the Marlins at 7:35. Sarge Matthews, Michael Jack Schmidt, Tug McGraw, John Denny, Tony Perez will all be on hand. Von Hayes will be there. Order your tickets now by calling 463-1000 or stop by any local Ticketmaster location. Well, Cordero leads off for Montreal here in the second. Cordero batting at .240. Pops him up behind third base. Mariano Duncan and Batiste in foul ground. Batiste makes the play. Cordero's out. That'll bring up Brian Barnes. Barnes is batting .273. Lifetime, he's a .153 hitter. Tried to bunt his way on, bunts it foul. 1 strike to Brian Barnes. Two quick strikes to him. Little low, 1-2. Expos lead 3-2. We're in the bottom of the second. Just got his bat on the ball. Still a ball and 2 strikes. Fouls off another pitch. Barnes called out on strike. Second strikeout for Tommy Green. 2 down here in the second. It'll bring on Delino DeShields. DeShields was called out on strikes his first time up. Up there, 1-0. A bit high, 2-0. He pops a foul. It's going to come back behind the screen and out of play. 2 balls and 1 strike to Delino DeShields. DeShields led the league in striking out 2 years ago. And he had 108 strikeouts last year. Let's cut down on that. Three balls and a strike. Broke his bat on the foul ball first base side. A full count to DeShields. Jim Eisenreich, who hit a grand slam in last night's Phillies win, his second career slam. His other one off Randy Johnson. He's an incredibly tough left-hand pitcher. Another foul out of play, still a full count to DeShields. Popped him up. Into shallow center. Mariano Duncan goes out. Dykstra calls him off and makes the grab, and that will retire the side. No runs, hits, errors, and none left. At the end of 2, it's 3-2 Montreal. Darren Daulton leads off for the Phillies here in the 3rd. Our trivia question tonight: who are the 2 active players who have led the Phillies? Best batting average for the Phillies in hitting in back-to-back seasons. And a cut fouled it off 1-1.
2 active players who have led the Phillies in hitting.
Have the highest batting average for a Philly in back-to-back seasons. Balls and a strike to Daulton. He's singled to knock in a run his first time up. Tied for the league lead now in RBIs with Matt Williams. HF 53. Fastball missed. 3-1. Walked him. 3rd walk given up by Brian Barnes. Daulton, 2nd in the league in bases on balls to only teammate John Kruk. Batter will be Pete Incaviglia, who topped out in front of the plate into a double play his first time up. Incaviglia with his hand taped, although he says he feels fine. Had a pretty good batting practice after being hit in the hand by a pitch ball last night. One strike to him.
I wonder, though, because he is, since he got hit, he's taken some very hittable pitches, at least for him. He's a swinger.
Breaking ball for a call to strike. Incaviglia in the hole, 0-2. With a changeup, 1 ball and 2 strikes. (3-2) Expos lead. We're in the 3rd inning. Inside, 2-2.
He hasn't swung the bat in this at-bat. He's had 2 good pitches to hit and 2 borderlines that you'll see him swing at every once in a while. So You're right, he did hit the ball in batting practice a mile.
Darren Daulton, the runner at first base with nobody out. Full count, 55 pitches already for Brian Barnes, and we're only in the third inning. That's why he doesn't go deep into games. He pitched an average of 5.53 innings in his starts last year. Fourth worst average in the league. He's thrown a lot of pitches here in the early going. Smack. Oh, what a great grab by Lansing. It'll be a double play. Cavilla hit a BB, and Lansing with a superb play. Lansing took a hit away from Darren Daulton last night and turns that into a double play. Great play by Lansing.
And that was a bullet there. And that was. I mean, see him dive and catch that ball backhanded. Strictly a reaction play, but he's shown great reactions on some hard hit balls.
Wes Chamberlain punches one into center field for a base hit. So Wes is a 2-out base runner for Kim Baptiste. He singled to right his first time up, and now Chamberlain is hurt.
Ankle?
I guess he just totally came up lame.
Must have done it rounding the bag.
Kent DeColvey thinks hamstring.
He's out of there.
Yeah, I would think so. So Chamberlain will have to leave the game here.
Eisenreich?
Either Izzy or Milt Thompson. I would think Eisenreich probably. I guess he did. Well, that's when he took his turn rounding first and
holding the hamstring.
Yeah. And it will be Jim Eisenreich coming in to take his place as a runner at first. This Sunday is Cap Day, a great continuation of the nostalgia-style Phillies baseball caps. This year's model will be for the 1933 uniforms. Compliments of Texaco and free for all men 15 and over. Order your tickets easily by calling 463-1000. That's Cap Day this Sunday at 1:35 against Florida. Here's Baptiste. Takes one wide. Fly ball into left center field. Well hit, and this ball is off the base of the fence. Eisenreich will score the tying run. Baptiste into third with a triple. And we are tied at 3-3 here in the third inning.
That ball was in the air a long time. Grissom was kind of out of the play because he was so shallow. It looked like Alou had a shot at it. He's on the dead run. Looking. Well, he just didn't get to it. Looked like he pulled up.
Grissom knew he couldn't, so he was going to try to play it off the fence. Went way by him. One strike to Morandini, who walked his first time up.
Baptiste is 2 for 2. after taking a big horse collar last night.
Beats a foul out of play. 2 strikes to Morandini. Well, the Phils have tied this game at 3 here in the 3rd.
A line drive double play in this inning that really has saved Barnes from a big inning.
Balls and 2 strikes to Morandini.
You notice on the appeals, a lot of umpires now aren't making a safe sign or a strike sign unless it's a strike. But on the no swing, they don't do anything, which probably saves them a little booing from some of the fans. A lot of umpiring crews now don't make that safe call on a no swing.
Full count to Morandini. Second straight walk Mickey has received. That's 4 walks surrendered by Barnes. It'll bring up Tommy Green. Green was called out on strikes his first time up. Philly runners first and third with 2 outs. Beats a foul off to the right of the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike to Tommy Green. Baptiste at third, Morandini at first. Ball and 2 strikes to Green. Bill Risley just called up as the right-hander up in the bullpen. He disabled Jimmy Jones today. An elbow problem, and just called up Risley today.
Barnes bounced that throw over to first. And risky with a man on third.
Him out with a changeup, and that will retire the side. The 3rd strikeout for Barnes. Phillies got a run in the inning on 2 hits. No errors, 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. We're tied at 3.
Okay, panel. How can you recognize the genuine Yellow Pages?
It has a yellow cover.
Good.
It says New Jersey Belle on the front.
Right.
It has more choices inside.
Yes! That's how you tell the genuine article from mere imitators. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
The genuine New Jersey Belle Yellow Pages. 9 out of 10 use it. No other book can match it. A Bell Atlantic company.
Your Hyundai dealer's celebrating because Hyundai sales are up more than Honda and Toyota. So right now, during the Hyundai Success Celebration, you can get up to $2,200 in factory savings. Buy an Excel for as low as $65.99 or an Elantra for as little as $73.99 after the factory savings. And every Hyundai comes with 2 years scheduled service at no charge. About all you pay for is gas. So join the Success Celebration at your Hyundai dealer today. Hurry into your nearest Hyundai dealer now. It's where cars make sense.
Budweiser and the Phillies are celebrating the 4th of July holiday weekend with the Bud Summer Baseball Bash. It's a special tent party outside Veterans Stadium on Monday, July 5th before the Phillies-Dodgers game. Right now, be the 17th caller to 1-800-432-1745 and win 4 tickets to the party and the game. You'll join us for food, music, and surprises, and then watch the Phillies play the Dodgers. It's the Bud Summer Baseball Bash with Budweiser and the Bills. So bring on the Dodgers and bring on the Bud.
Tonight's Phillies game on PHL 17 is brought to you in part by Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light. By your local Dodge dealers. Come in today because we know how to help. And by Jiffy Lube, America's favorite oil change. Mike Lansing leads off for Montreal, hit by a pitch ball his first time up. Our trivia question of the evening, who are the 2 active players who led the Phillies in hitting in back-to-back seasons? Fair ball down the left field line, going to the corner. Lansing will get 2 out of it. A stand-up double for Mike Lansing. Well, Lansing's had quite a game, hit by a pitch ball in the elbow. Made a great play to take a hit away from Incaviglia. Picks up a double.
Got a high fastball, inner part of the plate, and Baptiste didn't have a chance.
Here's Marquise Grissom. He has singled and scored a run. He's hit safely now in 14 straight. Strike to him. Two quick strikes to Grissom. Guess you've given up on that trivia question, huh?
Kruk has to be one of them, doesn't he?
Krucker, the last 2 years, 294 at 91, 323 at 92.
These active players with the Phillies?
Yep.
Well, then I guess you have to. The only one other guy it could be would be Lenny.
Milt Thompson. 1987 and 88.
He was with the that's right. Okay.
Led the Phillies in hitting those 2 years. Got him with a high pass ball, struck him out. 3rd strikeout for Tommy Green. 1 down here in the 3rd. It'll bring on Larry Walker. Walker singled and knocked in a pair his first time up. Ball and no strikes to Larry Walker. Two and nothing. Jim Eisenreich has stayed in the game. He's in right field. As Chamberlain leaving in the top half of this inning with an injury. Three balls and no strikes.
Walker should get a green light if he gets a strike. Lou would like to see him hit.
On the outside corner, 3-1.
3-0 off speed pitch.
Missed wide and walked him. First walk given up by Tommy Green. Puts 2 men on base with 1 out for Frank Bolick. Bolick skied out to left his first time up. Strike to him. Fouls it out of play. 2 quick strikes to Bolick. Chamberlain's injury was a hamstring muscle pull.
A little surprising in that, there was nothing to dig down, and because it was just a little flare single over the shortstop, I don't think he had any chance to get an extra base out of it.
Runners going and no throw. They got big jumps on Tommy Green. A double steal. Lansing steals his 8th. Walker his 2nd in this game and his 9th.
Well, they weren't really paying much attention to Lansing at second. He was the lead runner and kind of wondered about that. On this, in the situation of the left-hand hitter, shortstop's responsibility to keep the runner a little closer.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Bolick. Fouls it out of play. Still 1 and 2.
Dalton wants to talk to Green and try to figure out something to put Bolick away.
Ball and 2 strikes to Bolick. Dribbles it foul. Chamberlain now with a left hamstring strain. He'll be reevaluated tomorrow. See how bad he sprained the hammy. Balls and 2 strikes. Tommy Green started the season 8-0. He has struggled in his last 2 starts. Last Philly pitcher to start the season 8-0, Steve Carlton, back in '81. In the dirt, it's a full count. Three and 2 to Bolick. Had him buried 0-2, and now it's 3-2. They're going to get some bullpen activity. Tim Mauser. Sharply foul.
Bolick
3 and 2.
Bolick likes the ball on the inner half of the plate. He really turns on that ball. Looks like since Dalton talked to him, they're trying to pitch him low instead of high. They got him out the first time up on a high outside part of the plate fastball. Popped him up.
Flies to left field, not real deep. Incaviglia gets himself in position to throw, and the runners have to hold. So that's a big out for Tommy Green. 2 down. Incaviglia really lined it up to be in throwing position.
And that is fairly shallow, too, so the runner was intimidated. Pete has a pretty good arm also. He got Bolick on a 3-2 slider.
Here's Moises Alou. He's singled to drive in a run his first time up. Runners at second and third with 2 down. High fly ball into right center. Lenny Dykstra's ball. He calls. Makes the grab. That'll retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. Montreal leaves 2. Chris Wheeler joins Rich Ashburn in the 4th. At the end of 3, we're tied 3-3.
Come on, let's get a cold one.
Our total attendance for today's game.
Oh, would you look at this beer line? I'm gonna go back. What? Foul ball? No, I'm not. Foul ball!
Foul ball! Out of the way!
I got it!
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down,
make it 2 Bud Lights, please.
Make it a Bud Light.
Hey, you got another ball?
Everybody knows what a musical note sounds like. But what does a note look like? When it comes from the audio system of the Lexus ES300, it looks like the original, which means it sounds like the original.
DeskJet printers from Hewlett-Packard. It's easy to make it happen.
Business Person Special number 2 coming up at Veterans Stadium on Wednesday, June 23rd at 12:35 start against the Atlanta Braves. It's the second midweek midday and a terrific game to make plans come out for. The day is compliments of Mel and PSFS. Order your tickets and make your excuses now. Call 463-1000. Or stop by the Center City ticket office at Mel and PSFS, Broad and Chestnut Streets. In the top of the Phillies order, Dykstra, Duncan, and Kruk to face Brian Barnes. Dykstra's had a good game, a double and a single so far, and he's scored a run. Ball 1 to Dykstra. Strike called.
Phillies have really had Barnes in trouble in the first 3 innings. You know, they have 3 runs on. They could easily have twice that many. Line drive double play, another little double play that Incaviglia hit into. And he has been very wild as his left-hander.
Lenny's scoring a lot of runs. A ball and 2 strikes on Dykstra.
He had good base running play in the first inning when Lansing didn't look him back, and he was able to go to third, and that made the Expos get a little bit on their heels, having to play the infield up, and they wound up getting a run out of it. And he's been doing a lot of that lately, running the bases very, very well.
A little bit high. Ball 2, strike 2 on Dykstra. Barnes has been an kinds of trouble. The Phillies have stranded 6 through the first 3 innings. Struck him out like a bad pitch. Barnes gets his 4th strikeout.
It was a changeup, a down and in changeup, and he will throw that pitch to left-handed batters as he just did there to Dykstra, and it fooled him and he chased it.
Here's Duncan. Grounded out, reached base on an error. Strike 1 on Mariano Duncan. We're tied 3-3, top of the 4th. Walker will reach this one. 2 down. Duncan hit it pretty well. But he's out of there, and John Kruk will bat. He has walked and lined out the center.
Rich and Karen Berg-Bauer from Sicklerville, New Jersey, here at the ball game tonight. Ran into a bunch of people from Lancaster and the Metro going back to the hotel last night. So quite a few Phillies fans up here in Montreal this week for this 3-game series.
They raised the price on that Metro again.
Oh, did they?
Every time we come up here, they boosted.
What was it? It was $1.75 last night, right?
That's right. And last year late, it was $1.50, and last year early, it was $1.25. Ball 2 to Kruk.
I remember you had never been on one of those things. So I talked you into going on that one night, and now you love it.
Well, I don't love it, but it's the best way to get back to the city.
Heck, you ride the subway in New York now.
Strike called. I do.
You have to. What do you mean you do?
I did it once.
Yeah, well, you would never do it before.
To my regret.
I took you out there one time on the subway. You said it was fine.
I was mobbed by panhandlers.
I didn't ask you for that much.
2 outs, nobody on. Top of the 4th, ball 2 and a strike to Kruk. Fouled it back. I'm a sucker for those guys, though. I give them all something. Charitable to a fault, Wheels.
That's right. You are a nice man. I can just see you handing them out to one after another.
2-2 on Kruk. Looper left field. Base hit. Can John get 2 out of it? Nope. He'll stay with a single. Got it right off the end of the bat. A 2-out single by Kruk.
And he's still having some trouble with that knee that he hurt in New York the other night. He's moving better, but not good enough to go for a double in this play with 2 outs. Moises Alou makes a nice play. It's a breaking ball off the end of the bat. Alou does a good job of getting to it in a hurry, as you see right there, and that made Kruk stay at first base.
Here's Dalton. Dalton has singled, knocked in a run, and walked. Base hit. Kruk will hold at second. Dalton's been on 3 straight times with 2 singles and a walk.
Phillies have 8 hits now off Brian Barnes and 4 walks, and they've only been able to produce 3 runs so far. That's what we're talking about. They have had him in constant trouble in this ball game.
Pete Incaviglia, the batter, grounded into kind of a funky double play, and then was robbed of a base hit on a great play by Mike Lansing at third.
See Alou checking out his lineup card there. They had Risley up last inning, and they may be getting somebody up again.
2 on, 2 outs for Incaviglia.
Barnes is due to bat third in the bottom of this inning.
Strike called on Incaviglia.
Grissom very shallow in center. Walker with a great arm in right. Alou pretty deep in left. It causes Boa problems because Kruk isn't running that well. Should either Grissom or Walker get the ball if it's hit right at them.
chase that low breaking ball. Strike 2 on Hinkie. Barnes has not thrown many of those change-ups of his. That circle change, it's been an effective pitch for him, but somebody must be hitting it because he's not throwing it nearly as much as he used to.
Yeah, he got the strikeout on Dykstra in this inning on 1. Well, this is the time when he would really throw it. I mean, he would throw it to right-handed batters a lot because it's a good pitch to him down and away, especially when he's ahead in the count.
2 strikes on Incaviglia. Laid off that same pitch he just swung at, a ball and 2 strikes. Incaviglia is a dangerous hitter. Don't make a mistake with him and he'll nail you. Popped him up. Easy play for Larry Walker. And that'll retire the side. Threw him the changeup. It was high and outside, but Barnes got the out. No runs, 2 hits, 2 more left on. Expos batting in the 4th. We're tied 3-3.
On the next Time Tracks, the future's most notorious mobster is now Darien's most dangerous enemy.
I've been chasing him for years. Leave Mr. Lambert to me.
On the next Time Tracks. And
he's an undercover cop.
They're after the man who ripped their world apart.
4th, Darren Fletcher will lead it off for Montreal, to be followed by Will Cordero and the pitcher Brian Barnes. Fletcher popped up his first time at bat. Fletcher hitting at .238. And a ball and a strike on Fletcher.
Nobody up in the bullpen yet for Montreal, so we'll see. Maybe if they were to get some people on, they might decide to hit for Barnes. If not, they'd probably just leave him in the ballgame, at least with nobody in the pen yet. Those pitchers have struggled tonight.
Ball 2 on a strike on Fletcher. Green got out of a 2nd and 3rd 1-out inning in the 3rd. Pretty well, but Dykstra has a beat on it. Right to the warning track. 1 down. And Will Cordero, the shortstop, will bat. He popped out his first time up, hitting at .239.
Say happy birthday tonight to my mom, Terry, back in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. It's her birthday today, and just talked to her this afternoon. Want to wish her best on the air tonight.
The lovely Terry. Morandini. Cordero out on 1 pitch. 2 away.
Not allowed to use her age, of course, on the air, but she's hanging in there just fine.
Fireworks night, Friday, July 2nd, a 4:35 doubleheader against San Diego. And then they'll play the Padres also. Well, fireworks also on Saturday, July 3rd, a 7:05 start. 2 fireworks shows, and they're the best. Compliments of Mellon PSFS. Barnes tries to bunt. Misses it. Fireworks Friday, July 2nd, after the Padres doubleheader, and then Saturday night, July 3rd. Somebody's going to have to hurry. Morandini gets him on a close play. And the Expos go down in order after 4 full innings. We're tied 3-3. He's a guy that can really hurt you. When he gets on base, the Expos score.
See Darren Dalton talking to Lansing as he was coming to the plate there. This guy, a lot of these Expos players look like they're not real inspired right now. Not this young man.
He's 1 for 1, takes a strike. He was hit by a pitch, scored a run in the first, doubled in the third, and was stranded at third.
See the mark on his arm, his left arm, where he was hit in the first inning.
2 quick strikes on Mike Lansing.
Tommy Green hit him up there near the left elbow, right below the left elbow.
High with a fastball. Schilling will pitch tomorrow night for the Phillies against Kent Bottenfield. High again, 2-2 the count. Ooh, that's Mel Rojas warming up, isn't it?
Boy, they use him a lot. They use him all different times. I mean, he came in the game in the 9th inning, threw the grand slam to Eisenreich last night.
He was the setup man for Weddleton. Right to Kruk. 2 unassisted plays for John Kruk here in the 5th, 2 away. It was a good pitch Green made on Lansing. A good fastball outside part of the plate. Grissom the batter. Grissom is 1 for 2 with a single, and he scored a run. High with a fastball. Two and 0 the count.
Phillies like to pitch Grissom in above his hands, especially right-handers. I think they can get him out that way, but you also have to be careful you don't leave the ball out over the plate to him. You can get him out down in a way too, but the pitch he really likes is anything belt high, middle of the plate, or middle of the plate in.
He's hitting .325. 2 outs and nobody on. A little bit high. 3-0 on Grissom. Larry Walker waits on deck. Strike called. Philadelphia's Jerry Crawford. Joey's in the NBA. Behind the plate. Hit well, and Cavilla can't get it. It's off the wall. That'll be a stand-up double for Marquise Grissom.
The ball's a tracer going out there. I think Cavilla thought he had a shot at it at one time, and it just kept going. Watch where this pitch is. Out over the plate, and Grissom nails it.
It was down. It was probably a ball.
Oh, he likes that pitch, though. He likes the low ball out there. And that's what they try to stay away from with him. And to see Cavilla playing it off the wall, he really thought he had a shot at it for a while.
Grissom's on second, 2 outs. Walker, 1 for 1. Makes a pitch outside. He singled in 2 runs in the first. He was walked in the third, kind of a semi-intentional walk, I believe. The base was open as it is now. They'd rather pitch to Bolick than they would Walker. Way outside, ball 2.
Just the way they approached him that time you're talking about, Roddy. They kept throwing fastballs out there and finally walking.
Now they've been given the intentional walk orders from the dugout.
Fregosi, I'm sure Phillies fans know from watching this guy, does not walk many batters. He does not like the intentional walk, and he thinks it gets you in more trouble than it's worth. But in certain situations, you will see him walk a batter, and this one just kind of cries out for it with a good hitter like Walker, a left-handed batter up there, base open, 2 outs, and a younger player, Bolick, on deck.
Yeah, he walks Barry Bonds a lot. He says he'll never let Barry Bonds beat him with a base hit unless he's just forced to.
And he hardly ever walks a number 8-hole hitter, especially early in the ballgame.
Bolick, the batter, he has twice flied to left field. Green has gotten him out twice in key situations. He's going to try it again. 2 on, 2 outs. Bottom of the 5th. We're tied 3-3.
Both times on fly balls to Incaviglia left. Phillies looked like they changed the signs once tonight when Walker was on second base. Thought maybe he might have been relaying something to the hitter.
Funny, most hitters, or a lot of hitters, would rather not know what's coming. They just like to stand up there and react to it. Ball 1, low to Bullock. Green's in some 2-out trouble here. Base hit. Grissom will score. And the Expos lead it 4-3 on a 2-out single by Frank Bollig.
And Johnny Padre is on his way out to the mound. I have a talk with Tommy Green. Phillies take their chances with Bollig, and he hurts him with a base hit up the middle. Tommy Green throws him a fastball, runs out over the plate. He got too much of the plate. And the Expos get an easy run.
4-3 Expos lead. Still 2 on, 2 outs for Alou, who's 1 for 2 with a single and a run batted in.
Mark Davis starting to warm up for the Phillies. They had Mauser up earlier. That's Jeff Manto standing down there as the bullpen guard.
Nice young man. Good to see him with the Major League club.
Local guy from Bristol.
Walker's at second. Bollig at first. Strike called on Alou. He's hitting at .288. Alou's a streaky hitter. He can get hot and really do some damage, and then he cools off, and Father takes him out of the lineup when he gets in those slumps. Alou didn't like the call. Strike 2 on Moises Alou.
Yeah, Alou thought that ball was high.
And maybe outside. Here it is.
Might have had a point. There's Dad looking on. Good hitter he was.
Ripped. Whoa! Off the wall. 1 run scores. They're holding Bollig. Stand-up double. Looked like he hit that ball way high inside pitch. Another run scores. Expos lead it 5-3 on Alou's double.
Green makes a bad pitch to him. He has him buried with stuff away, 0-2, and now they try to come back inside. But look what he does. Alou's a pull-off hitter anyway, and they get it right up into his wheelhouse. Even though it's high, it's a bad pitch.
Yeah, he hit a flat-out ball, but he nailed it. He smoked it. Jim Fragosi's coming out to make a pitching change. It's like Mark Davis will come in. And Tommy Green with 2 outs and 2 easy outs in this inning, and then a double walk and a single. Pitching change for the Phillies. Expos lead at 5-3. We'll be back in a moment.
Today, 2 airlines share one vision: to join the world together as never before. Announcing the global alliance of U.S. Air and British Airways. Now, there are no boundaries.
If you've got a group of 25 or more, we'll give you a great time at a Phillies game. For all the details about a special package for your group at a Phillies game, call 463-5000.
Mark Davis, Phillies pitcher in the ball game. This will be his 18th game. He has a win and 2 losses. His ERA is 4.87. And he'll face, well, he was going to face Fletcher. Now it looks like Sean Berry. It's right-handed.
There's Frazier standing there, a switch hitter. But it appears it's going to be Sean Berry. Cordero's due to bat next to shortstop.
Runners second and third, 2 outs. Mark Davis in relief of Tommy Green. We're only in the 5th inning, so a lot can happen yet. Davis trying to get out of this inning. Berry takes a ball. He's only hitting .220. But I guarantee you most of that's been against the Phillies. Ball 1 on Berry.
He faced Mark Davis one time this year, and Davis struck him out in the game at Veterans Stadium.
High again, ball 2. Berry came in the game last night late and picked up a couple of singles. Popped him up. Warrendini and now Eisenreich. Wu makes the catch, and that'll retire the side, but 2 runs in on 3 hits. 2 men left on base. After 5 full innings, Montreal leads the Phillies 5-3.
What? Oh, guard lock. Oh, very scary. Finally, the good stuff.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
The new Lexus GS is equipped with a vehicle speed-sensitive steering system so responsive that it actually improves your feel for the road. Now, the only thing more exhilarating than watching the Lexus GS is driving it. The new GS.
They say everybody has a dream. In this country, it's often about having your own business. AT&T has more ways to take your vision to and from more countries than anyone else. Because AT&T believes the most wonderful product this country's given the world is the American dream. AT&T, far and away the best in the business.
Sunday, July 4th, an 8:05 night game against the Padres. That's also Helmet Day at the ballpark, a special Sunday night game time. And special free gift for all fans 14 and under, an official-looking Phillies batting helmet, red with the Phillies P on the front. So come on out. You can order your tickets at the Veterans Stadium ticket office, calling 463-1000. That is July 4th, a Sunday night game.
Here are the changes for the Expos. Lansing now moves over to shortstop. Berry stays in the game to play third base. The new catcher is Tim Laker. And they make a pitching change and bring in the right-hander Mel Rojas.
Rojas is all over the place for Felipe Alou. He's won 1 and lost 5. His ERA is high at 4.22. This is his 30th ball game, he faces the top of the Phillies order. Dykstra, Duncan, and Kruk. Phil's need runs. They trail 5-3. And they have stranded some runners. Check swing. Peel is turned down. 2-0 the count to Dykstra. Lenny's doubled, singled, and struck out. 2-0 the count to Dykstra. Called strike. Dykstra thought it was outside. 2-1 the count. Rojas throws hard. There's a fork ball. Pitches in the dirt. Brian Barnes is out of the game, and he got out of it pretty good fashion considering what he gave up. He gave up 9 hits and 4 walks in 5 innings of work. Only allowed 3 runs. Ball 4 to Dykstra. They made some great defensive plays back of Barnes, which helped him.
Third baseman did Lansing, who's now the shortstop. He really saved him where the Phillies would have had a few more runs.
Duncan the batter. Dunk has grounded out, reached base on an error that might have been called a hit with a little more charity out of the official score, and he's flied to deep right. He's officially 0 for 3.
Rojas walked a batter last night when he came in the game, and then the grand slam by Eisenreich was hit off him.
Dykstra on first, nobody out. Fouled off, out of play. Strike 1 on Duncan. Duncan talking to himself a little bit. Dykstra back in plenty of time, not taking a big lead. Probably no threat to go at this point.
In the Expos lineup, we're told that Laker is batting 8th and Rojas is batting 9th, of course, and Berry stays in the spot where he hit. It sounds elementary, except remember what happened when the Phillies played Montreal at the Vet a few weeks ago, and it was all messed up.
Protested the game, but it was later withdrawn. Fouled off left side, out of play. 2 strikes on Duncan. And the man brought his glove and made the play. We're in the top of the 6th. Phil's trail 5-3. Lou force at second, just barely. No throw to first. Duncan was really jammed on that pitch.
Rojas has a real heavy ball, and he got it in on him. He throws that hard fastball, hard forkball, and occasional slider, and this ball runs in on Duncan's hands. See his arms pull back, and then he breaks his bat, and they go get the lead man, Dykstra, at second.
Kruk the batter. Kruk officially 1 for 2 with a single. Hitting at .354. Duncan on first, 1 out. Late at first again.
Rojas a little overly worried right now about Duncan because he's probably not thinking running that much. Phillies are down by a couple runs. Like to leave a hole for Kruk, unless he just thinks he can steal it on him. Wouldn't think he'd be running though necessarily.
No, he won't be going now with Kruk up there in the hole, and then Dalton's the next hitter. I don't think he'll be running at all. Strike one on Kruk. Made a good pitch on Kruk. It's almost impossible to hit that pitch into the hole. Outside corner fastball. Some pitchers just like to throw to first.
Yeah, there's no other reason to throw over there now except that he just wants to, it's just part of his thing to throw to first base.
Kruk has a pretty good lead. Strike two.
Oh, Ross has gotten ahead of Kruk, staying away from him, thinking about trying to keep that, keep Kruk from pulling a ball in the hole and getting Duncan over to third. This is when Rojas will throw that fork ball a lot of times when he gets ahead of a hitter, and it's a strikeout pitch for him.
Look out. Woo. Kruk's only been hit twice in his career. He almost got number 3 there. Rojas didn't want to hit him. He really came in.
Well, they pitched him away with the first 2 pitches, so that's just, you know, a purpose pitch to get him off the plate. Keep Kruk from diving into the ball as much as he does.
There was the fork ball low. 2-2 the count to Kruk. Top of the 6th. Expos 5, Phillies 3. Duncan's on first, 1 down.
He shook off fastball away, and he wants a forkball again. Well, we'll see if they do it. Fletcher gave him fastball away. He shook it off. There's fastball. Whoop. Let's see what he does.
Fastball.
Yeah, he shook it off the first time, went to forkball, and then stepped off and decided, well, maybe I better go with what my catcher wanted first.
Rojas has pitched some good ball against the Phillies through the years.
Laker's a new catcher now. Fletcher was taken out of the ball game last inning.
Remember Jim DeShays, how he used to throw to first?
Oh. Every year he'd lead the league in that category. Throws over to first base. He had no move at all.
High. Full count. Kruk was down in the count, but he's filled it out now at 3-2.
And they'll probably run him. If he gets a fastball, he might be able to drive it. If it's a forkball and he would swing through it, it'd be a tough throw for Laker. Tough pitch for Laker to throw him Duncan out on.
We'll see. There he goes. Fouled off, and this will reach the crowd. Well, Duncan, who was running, will try it again. Shields was covering on that play.
Yeah, thinking that Kruk's going to go the other way with it, which is surprising since it's a 3-2 count. You think more pull, but they stayed away from it with the pitch.
Well, that ball was hit well. Alou is going, and he can't get it. It's off the wall. Duncan's going to score easily. And it's a 5-4 Montreal lead on a stand-up double by John Kruk. Boy, he nailed that fastball.
And Duncan was 3/4 of the way around second when that ball hit the wall on one hop. So if that ball had somehow been caught, he was going to have trouble getting back to first base. He was running on the play and then scored easily. They stayed away from Kruk with a fastball. And as Whitey said, he really hit it hard. Look where Duncan is. He picked the ball up, so he knew exactly where he was at all times, and he picked it up just before he got to second.
Those Expos outfielders really try a lot of decoying out there.
Well, they play so shallow, too, that when you hit those kind of balls, it's tough for Grissom and Walker to catch them.
Phillies have a tying run on second for Darren Dalton. Takes a pitch low for a ball.
They're getting Facero up in the bullpen, the left-hander who was in the game last night.
Dalton's been on all 3 times, 2 singles and a walk. He's knocked in a run. John Facero. Jeff Facero. Ball 2 to Dalton. Blue, ball 3, and the ball gets away from Laker. That'll probably be a passed ball.
Yeah, it sure looked like it. Laker just into the game. It looked like he just missed that pitch.
So Crux on third, 1 down.
Yep. Sure should be a pass ball.
Should be, but sometimes those low ones, they give him a wild pitch. We'll see.
Pass ball.
Pass ball. Infield is in tight. 3-0 to Dalton. He'll get a green light, but I don't know if he'll get anything to swing at. Ball 4. Dalton's been on 4 times, 2 walks and 2 singles. Runners first and third. 1 out. Joe Kerrigan, the Expos pitching coach, out to talk to Rojas. Second walk given up by Rojas. The Phillies have a tying run at third.
There's Larry Walker checking out some birds out there. You wonder how they get in here. That roof on.
Must be a hole up there somewhere.
A couple of pigeons strutting around out there.
First and third, 1 down for Pete Incaviglia. Pete's 0 for 3, was robbed of a base hit his second time up. Infield back now at double play depth.
Incaviglia's been up there all night with men on base. Hadn't been able to produce yet, although Whitey said he got robbed his last time up.
Fouled off, jammed him. Strike 1 on Incaviglia.
2 men on in the first, 1 in the third, 2 in the fourth, and 2 here in the 6th.
Looks like he's trying to jam Incaviglia with that fastball of his. Fouled again. Strike 2 on Incaviglia. Both those pitches inside part of the plate, maybe even balls.
Well, yeah, but left-hander hitter Eisenreich on deck. There goes one of those birds taking off as Walker scared him. And they might bring Facero in to pitch to Eisenreich if they're Incaviglia here.
Phillies have a run in, trying to get some more. Another foul ball.
That one off his foot.
He staying with the fastball so far on Incaviglia. 3 straight fastballs. They evidently don't think Pete can get that bat around on hard stuff. Real hard stuff inside.
Well, he's got a sore left hand, and now he just has a sore foot after that ball.
He's the Incredible Hulk.
He is one tough guy, that's for sure.
Look out. That hit him, didn't it?
Yep.
Hit him in the stomach.
Pete wonders what's going on here.
Well, Rojas didn't want to do that.
No.
He had him buried in the count 0-2 with Eisenreich coming up, and I'm sure that's going to be all for Mel Rojas.
There's Jerry Crawford talking to Rojas, and there's no way he's trying to hit him 0-2. But Jerry Crawford's just going to make sure that nothing's getting started here. Now here comes Alou out.
I think Jerry might have warned Rojas.
That's not a spot where you really want to necessarily warn a guy.
No, you don't want to hit a guy either.
No.
Phillies had 2 batters hit last night, but they were unintentional also.
Yeah, no, that's exact. And right out of the chute tonight, Tommy Green hit Lansing in the first inning,
which was unintentional. He didn't want to hit Lansing. He had a 1-run lead at that time.
And Alou doesn't like the fact that Crawford went out and said something to his pitcher, and he's talking to Crawford about it. I think Alou's going to make a pitching change anyway. He says, "Are you kidding me? He's trying to hit somebody there?" And Jerry's kind of, "Well, in my opinion, I'm going to stop it right now."
Well, I think Alou will pull his pitcher. I don't think he's done it yet.
Well, he hasn't technically gotten to the dirt part yet. Kerrigan's already been out there. Once he hits that dirt, he has to take him out.
Well,
see where he's standing?
Yeah. Well, he's going to take him out.
You'd think so. Now, see, Jerry Crawford's pointing to the Phillies bench right now off camera, and that's exactly what he did. He's warned both teams that there won't be any more throwing at people tonight, and Fergosi's just kind of looking out there.
Doesn't seem to be too upset about it. But you can bet that Rojas did not want to hit in Cavilla with 2 strikes on him. He's motioned to the bullpen. He had to make the pitching change anyway now.
Here's a pitch to Cavilla, who just beat the ball off his foot. He has a bad hand, and now he's got a ball coming right at him. Pete's reaction is, "Come on."
Jeff Facero, pitching change for Montreal. They lead the Phillies 5-4. We'll be back in a moment.
Everybody knows what a musical note sounds like. But what does a note look like? When it comes from the audio system of the Lexus ES300, it looks like the original, which means it sounds like the original.
Me and the folks at American Express have been kicking around some ideas for a new card application display. I like this one. Pretty good, isn't it? Excuse me, sir. Would you like an application for the American Express card? The card with no interest charges.
As a matter of fact, I would.
Bit of a malfunction. Until I work the kinks out here, look for this display and take one. All right?
Left-hander Jeff Facero, the new Expos pitcher. Well, we see him a lot. He's won 5 and lost 1, all in relief. Good ERA of 2.72, his 32nd ball game.
2 2/3 innings last night, Whitey. 3 walks and 4 strikeouts, no hits and no runs.
He'll face Jim Eisenreich, who has only been to bat once. He doubled in that at bat.
And Eisenreich faced him in the ball game last night and walked.
Bases loaded, 1 out. Expos lead at 5-4. Kruk, Dalton, in Cavilla, the base runners. Eisenreich now hitting at .352. Infield back at double play depth. Ball 1 to Eisenreich. Facero throws a lot of sliders.
Yeah, and they've gotten that Risley up again. Bill Risley, who's been up a couple times tonight. He's a right-hander. There he is, just up from Ottawa.
Ball 1 on Eisenreich. Ball 2. Just low. Borderline.
Cerro just put his hand there to ask Jerry Crawford if it was low, and Crawford nodded yes.
Umpires don't like that.
Certain umpires like it less than others.
Yeah, that shows them up. There's a strike, outside corner. 2-1 to Eisenreich. I don't think he hit 2 grand slams back to back, do you?
Pretty tough left-hander.
Yeah. That was a little low, but he chased it. 2-2 the count. Now he'll try to be a defensive hitter and Getting wood on the ball.
And as you said, Facero throws a lot of sliders. That's his best pitch, so you'd think he would go with that here.
Count even up at 2-2. Bases loaded, 1 out. We're in the top of the 6th. Expos leading 5-4. Chased another low pitch. Struck him out. Big strikeout for Facero. You don't see Eisenreich do that very often. He chased low pitches one after another. And it's up to Kim Baptiste, who's 2 for 3 with a single and a triple, a run scored, a run batted in.
He batted off Facero last night and struck out in the game.
Everybody's chasing that low pitch. Strike 1.
Once again, the Phillies have had a lot of opportunities coming into this inning. They left 9 men on.
And they got 3 more here. Good block by Laker. And the only part it was, Baptiste almost chased that one.
It's only 8 strikeouts and 110 at bats for Jim Eisenreich, one of the best contact hitters in the league. But Facero's tough on left-handed hitters.
A ball and a strike to Baptiste. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Did it again. I don't believe it. He has to have saved a half a dozen runs in this ball game. Whoa. Or Barry, that is. That was Barry, not Lansing.
Doesn't matter who they have down there.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't. That'll retire the side. The Phillies score a run on 1 hit. They leave the bases loaded. Expos batting in the 6th. They lead the Phillies 5-4.
They created their microprocessor in 1971, and the faster their chips have performed, the faster their company has grown. Today, the Intel design is the brains behind 72% of the world's PCs. And by the 21st century, Intel expects their chip to execute 2 billion instructions in 1 second. Where do you find such fast-thinking companies? Actually, there's a list of them printed every day. NASDAQ, the stock market for the next 100 years.
Finding a credit card you can expect more from is a simple process of elimination. First, blow up all the cards with the highest rates. Then the ones that don't offer fixed or variable rate options, worldwide acceptance, and 24-hour customer service. And what about price assurance? Satisfaction guaranteed, purchase protection, and extended warranties at no extra charge. So, what's left? Chemical Bank MasterCard. If you have one, use it. If not, call 1-800-245-0880 to apply.
This is $20,000. This is also $20,000. You'd take care of this, wouldn't you? You should take care of your car just as carefully. Bring it to Jiffy Lube, the only place with the experience of servicing 68 million cars. Considering that your car is worth thousands of dollars, experience counts.
We got experience at Jiffy Lube.
Tonight's Phillies game on PHL 17 is brought to you in part by Nationwide Insurance. Nationwide is on your side. Your Nationwide Insurance agent in Conshohocken is John Ondick. The Pennsylvania Lottery. Lottery proceeds benefits older Pennsylvanians. And by Bell Atlantic Mobile. Advanced technology and people who make it mean something. Bottom of the 6th. This is Tim Laker, the catcher. Face Mark Davis. Ball 1 on Laker.
And Facero is batting 9 and is in the on-deck circle.
Well, Facero got out of some trouble with some help by his third baseman. Ball 1 to Laker. He's hitting 200. Fastball hit pretty well. Oh, caught by Eisenreich on the dead run.
Oh, he's a good player. That's a tough play for Jim Eisenreich, who's playing him very shallow in right center field. Had a long run for that and got it with full extension. Fastball away by Mark Davis, and Laker has to think he has a double here. Eisenreich can't reach any further than that.
Webbing of the glove, one down, and Jeff Facero will bat. And some pretty good plays made in this game. Montreal third basemen have made about 4 of those same type plays. Lansing earlier, and Lansing moved to short, and then Barry getting that ball hit by Kim Baptiste. The ball and a strike on Facero.
Here's Barry. It doesn't matter who's down here tonight. Lansing made all those great plays earlier. Now they have Barry at third, and he robs Baptiste of extra bases. According to the stat sheet, this is Facero's first official at bat of the season.
Ball and 2 strikes on Facero.
You can see why with those swings. He's not going to hit a whole lot.
No. Struck him out. First strikeout for Mark Davis. And Delino DeShields is 0 for 3. Struck out, flied out, grounded out. Hitting at 249. 2 outs, nobody on. Check swing, foul tip. Strike 1 on DeShields. Good curveball. Strike 2. Expos lead it 5-4. We're in the bottom of the 6th. Out of play.
It's as if you've mistaken your trousers for an ashtray again.
Just a little raw tobacco. That doesn't hurt him. In fact, it takes care of the moths. Kruk gonna have to hurry. Oh, he does. Just gets DeShields, and that'll retire the side as the Expos go down in order. Harry Kellis joins Wheels in the 7th after 6 full. Expos lead the Phillies 5-4.
From 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue to right here in Pennsylvania, people are searching for new choices in health care.
The costs are strangling me.
Which inspired Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield to create the new personal choice.
Seems like you always have to give something up.
A health plan that gives people the benefits of an HMO.
No one has the right to tell me what doctor I can see.
Without asking them to give up their freedom. Personal choice, the health plan that controls costs, not people.
45, even 45 cents, even 46 per pound, $4,700 phone, tiny young 47.5.
What'll it be, fellas?
Make it a Bud Light.
Sorry. This is the last one.
Well, I think I've been. I'll take that one.
What do you want to give for it? I'm a 2 and a 10. Give me 10, a 20 big. Give me 20 now, 30. Give me 30 now, 40 big. Give me 40 now, 50. Give me 50 now, 60 big. Give me 60 now, 70. Give me 70 now, 80.
If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Bud Light, please.
Sorry, boys. This is the last one.
This is a line. To some, it is seen as a barrier. To others, it's a point where traditions of the past are abandoned in favor of visions of the future. Introducing the revolutionary new Toyota Supra. It's taken everything sports cars were before and crossed the line.
Sometimes when you're really thirsty, nothing satisfies like water. But it's got to be the best. Pure New Hampshire mountain spring water from Castle Springs. You don't have to do a thing to it. Just add lips.
After 6, it's the Expos 5 and the Phillies 4. Tomorrow at 9, Kane and his son must stop the corrupt crime lord from taking over Chinatown on Kung Fu. The legend continues only on PHL 17. Morandini with a little comebacker to the mound, and Facero just gets him on a wide throw to first. Harry Callis back with us.
All right, thanks, Wheels. That's one down here in the 7th, and that'll bring on Ricky Jordan, who's going to come out and pinch hit for Mark Davis. 1 out and no base runners. Phil's trail by a run, 5-4. Tim Mauser up in the Phillies bullpen. Phillies have had all kinds of opportunities all night, but have stranded a dozen through the first 6 innings.
And a sorted third baseman for the Expos tonight have been one of the main reasons for that.
Right. Lansing making 2 superb plays, and Barry ending the last inning with a great play. Jordan hitting at .302. As a pinch hitter, he is 4 for 18. One ball and no strikes to Ricky Jordan. Two and nothing. Two balls, no strikes to Jordan with 1 out, no base runners. Three and nothing. Montreal pitching has walked 6 tonight, hit a batsman. They've walked 7 tonight. That's first walk given up by Facero since he came on, and the batter will be Lenny Dykstra. Dykstra's doubled, singled, struck out, and walked. Lenny is 4 for 9 lifetime against this left-hander Facero.
They just continue to keep the heat on tonight against no matter who Felipe Alou puts out there. And they've missed a few scoring opportunities, but a lot of it has just been brilliant defense by the third baseman. Now Ripley, Dykstra's asking Steve Ripley to move again. He did that earlier, and now the second base umpire will move over.
Ricky Jordan at first base with 1 down. 1 strike to Dykstra. One of the problems with the Expos pitching staff has been bases on balls. They've issued more walks than any other team in the league except Colorado. He committed, says Jerry Crawford. 0-2.
Good block by Laker, who's had a lot of balls in the dirt since he's come into the game from both Rojas and Facero. Here's a breaking ball, and Dykstra can't hold up, and the catcher makes a good block, keeps it in front of him.
No balls and 2 strikes. That's Facero's success. He tries to get you to chase his breaking ball. It's a late breaker. He doesn't throw it for strikes very often. Into the game last night, struck out a lot of people and walked a lot of people.
3 walks, 4 strikeouts.
Right.
Well, this kind of pitcher, when he gets ahead of a left-handed hitter, can throw the breaking ball in the dirt, and you know, a lot of hitters are going to chase it.
There it is, blocked by Laker. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Barry Bonds is just homered at Cincinnati, his 18th. Cincinnati still leads that game, though, 7-5 over San Francisco.
And much as in the East, the Phillies, with their big lead, someone has to start beating the Giants over in the West for there to be a race. They're 7 up at game time tonight.
Breaking ball that Dykstra lays off, 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Lenny Dykstra. Time call, bullpen ball is loose. Moises Alou chases it down.
Pigeons continue to frolic in right field out there with Larry Walker. What they're looking for. Not going to find too much grass seed. There they are. There's one of them.
Taking a big lead.
A cocky lead, too. Ooh.
Oh.
Oh, went right over the head of Joe Dunn, the Phillies equipment man down there in the dugout.
It's called hitting it out of the catcher's glove.
Yeah, he spoiled it.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Dykstra with Jordan at first and 1 out. Fouled off another one.
Well, he's getting a couple fastballs now, and that's why Dykstra's having these late swings, because he's geared into protecting against a breaking ball, so he's getting a late swing at a fastball. That's the advantage that Facero has to be able to throw that hard slider to a left-handed hitter, that he can get them to stay off making good contact with his fastball.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Fouled it off again.
Another fastball.
Yep.
It's really hard to put that ball in play right now for Lenny Dykstra because of the breaking ball that Facero has.
Might throw another breaking ball here after 3 straight fastballs, see if he'll chase it.
Right. I think the reason he went away from the breaking ball was he was throwing it in the dirt, and Dykstra just wasn't chasing it.
Ricky Jordan at first, 1 down. 7th inning, Montreal leading by a run, 5-4. Struck him out. Second strikeout for Facero. 2 down here in the 7th. It'll bring on Mariano Duncan. Duncan is nothing for 4, has grounded out, been safe on there, lined to deep right and hit into a fielder's choice. Off the end of the bat down the right field line, but Walker there makes the grab, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left. Stretch time in Olympic. We go to the bottom of the 7th, 5-4 Montreal.
The terror of Jaws returns. No one is safe when sharks, great whites, go on a rampage attacking an undersea complex.
Seal the park. Hear me? Seal the park. Go on right now!
Who will survive? As the most exciting saga of all time continues, Dennis Quaid and Lou Gossett Jr. come face-to-face with the ultimate killing machine in Jaws 3. Thursday at 8 on PHL 17.
Let's say you want a well-equipped 6-passenger car for under $13,000. Look into Dodge Spirit. With the right package, you can get one with options like air conditioning, speed control, and more. And right now, you'll get it all with at least $1,000 cash back, making it the lowest priced 6-passenger car you can buy for only $12,625. Meaning whether you buy, lease, or just want to look, Spirit is a logical choice. See your nearest Dodge dealer today. We know how to help.
Me and the folks at American Express have been kicking around some ideas for a new card application display. I like this one. Pretty good, isn't it? Excuse me, sir. Would you like an application for the American Express card? The card with no interest charges.
As a matter of fact, I would.
Bit of a malfunction. Until I work the kinks out here, look for this display and take one. All right?
Hello, I'm Dick Vermeil. When is the most dangerous time to be in the sun? Try to avoid sunning between the hours of 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. The sun's ultraviolet rays are the strongest during these hours. Be sure to use sunscreen and reapply as needed.
Well, here's your game summary. Story for the Phillies as men left on base right now. 13 of them through 7 innings for them. Expos pitching 7 walks. John Kruk and Darren Dalton are 4 for 5 with 3 walks and 2 runs batted in. And Alou and Walker have a couple of RBIs east for the Montreal Expos. And Great plays by Lansing and Barry at third base.
Tim Mauser will be the Phillies' new pitcher coming on here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Mauser had good numbers at Strand Wilkes-Barre. He was 2-0, 10 saves, and an 0.87 ERA.
Expos are getting their closer, John Wetland, up. He does pitch 2 innings quite a few times. With Facero going 2 2/3 last night, don't be surprised if he comes in to start the 8th inning. There he is.
Looks like he is warming up in earnest. Mike Lansing leads it off. Lansing has moved to shortstop, but not before he made 2 great plays to save Brian Barnes about 3 runs. He's 1 out of 2, has been hit by a pitch ball, doubled and grounded out. Mauser, since joining the Phils, making his 4th appearance. No wins, no losses, 6.75 ERAs. Pitched 5 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs. 5 strikeouts and 5 walks. Got Lansing to chase that forkball. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Lansing. Bounce the forkball up there, 2-2.
That's a key to Tim Mauser, is getting hitters to chase his forkball. He has a good one.
Drive to deep left center field. Incaviglia won't get it. High off the fence. It's a double for Lansing. His 2nd double of the ball game. He's really had quite a game.
Poor Mauser will get hurt a lot of times is with a fastball, and he went to 2-2, then threw a fastball, and Lansing hits it hard off the wall. See, this pitch is a fastball down the middle and up. And right there, bouncing back into play, a stand-up double for Lansing, who's really, as Harry says, really had a good ball game here tonight.
Brings on Marquise Grissom. He is singled, struck out, and doubled.
A lot of these Expo players, you watch them tonight and last night, they don't look like they're real interested right now the way things are going, but Lansing is.
Having a fine rookie year as Jose De Leon gets up in the Phillies bullpen. 1 strike to Grissom. Montreal leading at 5-4. We are in the bottom of the 7th. Strike. Missing with the forkball. Mauser's 26. To TCU University, comes out of Fort Worth. Three balls and 2 strikes to Grissom, who wasn't happy with the call.
Well, he just got hurt on a 2-2 fastball. So see if Dalton will come back and try and throw a 2-2 forkball and try and get Grissom to chase it.
Low with it.
The breaking ball.
Slider. Full count to Grissom.
Another ball loose down the bullpen. Pitchers have to warm up in this ballpark out in play, so Todd Pratt has to go chase that one down. Jeff Manto is down there warming up De Leon. There's Manto.
Beats a foul, still 3-2. Phillies have left 13 men on base tonight. That equals a season high. They left 13 out in that game in Colorado. The all-time record for the Phils is 20. Doing that twice, once against Brooklyn in 1922 and once against the Giants in 90. Walked him. Well, Mauser digging a little bit of a hole for himself. Batter will be Larry Walker. He's singled and walked twice, the second time intentionally. Mauser on for Mark Davis. Davis retired all 4 men that he faced. Splinters the bat with a foul ball. See the chips flying out in front of the plate. Jerry Crawford getting the splinters from that Larry Walker bat. No balls and 1 strike. Balls and 2 strikes on the forkball.
And Walker thought he had one to hit there, and he swung over it. Now they're ahead of him, 0-2. Maybe could throw another one. Mauser really needs that pitch to be effective.
Struck him out. That's a big out for Mauser. 1 down here in the 7th.
Struck him out with the forkball because he got ahead in the count. He's ahead of Walker, 0-2. He throws him one. It goes down and away, and he chases it.
Brings on that Frank Bolick. Bolick is twice flied out. He's singled to knock in a go-ahead run in the 5th inning.
Bolick had left the number of runners on his first 2 times up, then came through last time.
In the dirt, good block by Dalton. Duncan coming in to talk to Mauser now, making sure Lansing does not get too big a lead. Lansing and Walker executed a double steal with 1 out in the 3rd inning. Lansing getting a big jump off second. Him up, shallow left. Duncan makes the grab. That's 2 down, and that'll bring on Moises Alou, who has singled, flied to center, and doubled.
Neither Rippling or Quick called an infield fly rule then, because that ball never really got into a position where it could have been called routine. You could see both of them looking and waiting and thinking about putting the right arm up, but never did.
Here's Alou, who has knocked in 2 of the Expos' 5 runs. One ball and no strikes. Lansing getting a big lead at second base.
Less likely now to run, though, with 2 outs as he might have been with 1 out, because getting the 3rd isn't as important.
Two and nothing. There are the base runners. Lansing at second. Grissom at first. Forkball misses, 3-0. John Berry waiting on deck. Walked him on 4 pitches. That's the second walk surrendered by Mauser, and the bases are loaded with Expos with 2 down. They'll bring on Sean Berry. Flied out to right in his only at bat. Berry came in as a pinch hitter and stayed in the game. That one's low. Dalton out to talk to Mauser. De Leon stays up in the Phillies bullpen. Tight game, 5-4. Montreal trying to break it open here in the 7th inning. Expos lead by a run. One ball and 1 strike to Berry. Line drive hit to right. Lansing scores. Grissom scores. Going to third, Alou, and Montreal leads at 7-4. A bases loaded single by Sean Berry.
Berry does a nice piece of hitting there. Mauser tries to go away from him, and he hits it off the end of the bat and gets a base hit out of it. 2-run score, and the Expos now up by 3. It'll make it tough now with Wetland about to come into the game.
Jim Fregosi going to call on Jose De Leon here in the 7th inning. So this will be it for Mauser. And De Leon will come on. Pitching change for the Phils. We're in the 7th, 7-4 Montreal. Back after these messages.
Jet printers from Hewlett-Packard. It's easy to make it happen.
It's often taken for granted, yet it's as precious as the very air we breathe. It's called freedom. And it's what inspired Independence Blue Cross and Pennsylvania Blue Shield to create the new Personal Choice, a health plan that offers people the low costs of an HMO without asking them to give up what they value most, their freedom. Personal Choice, the health plan that controls costs, not people.
Jose De Leon, the veteran right-hander, the new Phillies pitcher. This is his 13th game. All have been out of the bullpen except 1 start. 2 wins, no losses, a 5.0 ERA. Jose has worked 18 innings, given up 15 hits and 10 earned runs, 11 strikeouts, 14 walks. Expos have runners at first and third. They have a 3-run lead here in the 7th inning. And Tim Laker will be the first one to face De Leon. John Vanderwall has moved into the on-deck circle. If Laker reaches, he would bat for the pitcher Facero. Laker has been a bat once. He flied out to deep right field. Expos lead 7-4. Slider for a strike.
Guys getting work tonight that don't pitch much. Mark Davis, Jose De Leon, Tim Mauser, because Phillies starters, for the most part, take the team into the area where Jim Fregosi uses West Anderson and Mitch Williams.
Starting pitching has done a great job in taking the team deep into games for the most part. Tonight, Tommy Green had to be taken out in the 5th. Tommy charged with 5 of the runs, runner breaking, and no throw by Dalton. Barry will get a stolen base. Montreal leads the league in steals. 1 ball and 1 strike to Laker. Fastball on the outside corner, 1-2. Wild pitch. Here comes Lou. Going to third is Barry. It will be an 8-4 ball game on the wild pitch uncorked by De Leon.
De Leon now has 4 wild pitches in his limited duty, and he'll bounce his forkball and breaking ball up there sometimes. And here's Darren Dalton trying to control this pitch away. It looked like a breaking ball, and he just couldn't get to it. Another run scored.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Father and son there in the Expos dugout. Fly ball into left center field. Lenny Dykstra over. Makes the grab, and that will retire the side. But Montreal scores 3 in the inning. They do it with 2 hits. No Philly errors. 1 man left. We go to the 8th. Expos lead the Bills 8-4.
Mountain man survival skills. The basics. A true mountain man must have a keen sense of direction, a certain physical dexterity, and a talent for surviving the most unforgiving climates. Of course, nothing is more key to a mountain man's survival than plenty of smooth bush beer and easy drinking bush light. So, head for the mountains and learn how the mountain man survives even the most grueling conditions.
If you want the #1 selling sport utility truck in America, and you want the most passenger and cargo room, then see your Quality Plus Ford dealer now during Ford Truck Month. Save on all Ford Explorers. Explorer has 6-passenger seating and on-the-fly push-button 4x4 touch drive. Jeep Grand Cherokee doesn't. Save $1,900 on Explorer. Hurry, Ford Truck Month. Ends soon. See your Quality Plus Ford dealer today.
You better hit the ground running in a new Ford truck.
What's new at Mobile? Let's take a look.
Introducing new Mobile Super Plus detergent gasoline. It still cleans fuel injectors and intake valves.
Now it helps keep the very heart of your engine cleaner. Down here, the cylinders and pistons.
So come down to the Big Red O and drive your engine clean with new Mobile Super Plus, the detergent gasoline.
Tonight's Phillies game on PHL 17 is brought to you in part by your Quality Plus Ford dealers, who invite you to come in and test drive the brand new 1993 Probe. By AT&T, because you're not the same as anybody else. There's the I-Plan. And by your local Hyundai dealer. Hyundai, cars that make sense. Greg Colbrin has come in to play first base for Montreal, and John Wetland will be the new pitcher. Wetland, their closer, is appearing in his 25th game. He's won 3, lost none, saved 12, a 1.47 ERA. 30 2/3 innings. He's given up just 20 hits, 5 runs, 33 strikeouts, and 11 walks. John Kruk will be the first one to face Wetland. Krucker has walked, lined out, singled, and doubled. Adding to his already leading on-base percentage. Fastball for a strike. Wetland has 2 really quality pitches. Good fastball, good curveball.
Wetland's a guy that had the comments to make about the Phillies that you know, that they're going to fold and they're not that tough and all those kind of things, and he probably regrets having said them, but once he did, they were posted and everybody knows about it. But he's the kind of guy who can back him up, because as Harry says, he has 2 really good pitches.
There's the good fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
He has a fastball he can just flat out throw by people, and then has a really good overhand curveball with a lot of bite to it.
Line drive hit to right center field. That'll go all the way back to the fence. Krucker will hold on at second with a stand-up double.
The Phillies have just had men on base all night. It's a shame they just gave up those 3 runs. Couldn't come into this inning with just a 1-run ball game instead of 4. Well, Wetland comes with a fastball, and that one he got middle of the plate into Kruk, and he hits it hard in the gap to right center. Kruk, when he's running better, would have had a triple on that. No sense in trying for it now, though, when you're down by 4.
Brings on Darren Dalton. Dutch has been on base all 4 times that he's been up. A single, a walk, a single, and a walk. He's knocked in a run. Missed the fastball. It was high.
Think about that's in the Phillies' advantage here. Using Wetland tonight, I mean, he's probably going to pitch 2 innings, it looks like, which would blow him out of the game tomorrow night. They use him a lot, though. They don't use him for just 1 inning at a time.
They need 1 inning for him, though. I guess they'd come back with him tomorrow night if they had a save opportunity.
Yeah, sure, they'd probably come back with him, but the point is, you know, he might be a little shorter than he would be after having pitched 2 innings. Lou has a lot of problems with his bullpen right now because his starters have been so bad that he has to use players earlier than he normally would want to out of the bullpen.
Dalton pops a foul out of play, 1-2, and now it's probably time for that nasty curveball.
I think he's thrown one yet. There's Felipe Alou, has severe pitching problems this year, to the point where they have to scratch Hill again tomorrow night and go with Bottenfield.
Stayed with a fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Struck him out with a good fastball. 1 down. That'll bring on Pete Incaviglia.
This guy really has a plus fastball. I mean, Darren Dalton can hit anybody's fastball, and he throws it right by him.
Incaviglia has tapped into a double play, lined into a double play, flied out and been hit by a pitch ball.
Maybe they were finally trying to get to a curveball then, and Wetland shook off, then stepped off. He hasn't thrown a breaking pitch yet. Yep.
There it was. No balls and a strike to Incaviglia. Wetland averages better than a strikeout per inning.
Wetland's a guy that really the Dodgers couldn't figure out what to do with him. They started him, they relieved him. He was a young player, and he admits kind of immature and wasn't really ready to handle it. And since he's come over here, they put him in the bullpen, and he's been a really good pitcher. Still has a bad temper, though. He kicked that batting practice screen in spring training, broke his toe, and wound up on the disabled list at the start of the year. That was after, while he was throwing batting practice, he got mad.
Certainly has closing stuff. Cincinnati got him in the Eric Davis deal and turned right around and traded him.
I think they got Dave Martinez for him, didn't they?
Got Scott Ruskin, Dave Martinez, and Willie Green for Wetland, and Bill Risley, who's just been called up. He's high with it, and the count is full.
He had Incaviglia buried, and then it looks like he start trying to overthrow and strike him out.
Montreal leading 8-4. We're in the 8th inning. Incaviglia fouls it down the right field side, out of play. Wetland down for Facero, who pitched 1 2/3 innings of runless, hitless balls, struck out 2 and walked 1. Walked him. So that'll put 2 men on base with 1 out for Jim Eisenreich. Eisenreich's in centering the game for Wes Chamberlain, who had to leave the game with a pulled hamstring muscle. Has doubled and struck out.
Phillies, just when they seem to get back to 25 men and have a healthy roster, somebody else goes down. And tonight, Chamberlain going down with a hamstring pull. And that has to be at least a few days, and probably won't know till tomorrow just how long it's going to be.
Missing with the curveball. 1 ball and no strikes. Plays again with men on base. They've had men on base in every inning. Nothing. Two balls and no strikes to Eisenreich. Three and nothing.
One of those nights. There's a Lou looking on everybody almost everybody that the managers bring into this game tonight on either side. Struggling out there on the mound as Kim Batiste waits in the on-deck circle.
Montreal pitching has walked 8 tonight. They walked 9 last night.
They've walked 8 and hit a batter and given up 11 hits.
And lead 8-4.
Yeah, that's hard to figure.
3 balls and a strike to Eisenreich. Cut, foul back the fastball, full count to him.
Might have chased ball 4 there, but Eisenreich had a pitch he liked. He likes that ball up. That's a ball he'll really drive.
Three and 2 to Eisenreich. Fouls that one out of play. Still 3 and 2. John Kruk at second and Pete Incaviglia at first with 1 out here in the 8th inning. Gary Crawford brings up Eisenreich, who thought it might have been inside. He's called out on strikes. Second strikeout for Wetland.
Looked like it might have been a little inside, but he calls a strike, and Eisenreich, oh, that's a big pitch right there. Phillies get him loaded up. Who knows?
Here's Kim Baptiste. He is single, tripled, flied out, and hit into a fielder's choice on a great play by Sean Berry. That play coming with the bases loaded. 1 ball and no strikes. Joe Kerrigan's going to come out now. Maybe he saw something in the delivery of Wetland.
I think what he's going to tell him, Harry, is to keep the ball away from him. You know, he's starting with a fastball in, and that's a pitch Baptiste can hurt a pitcher on. He's a middle-in hitter. If you keep the ball away from him, you'll keep him in the ballpark, maybe keep him away from an extra base hit. So they might just stay away from him.
1 ball and no strikes. Straight back at a cut. 1-1. Ball and a strike to Kim Baptiste. John Kruk at second. He doubled. Pete Incaviglia at first. He walked. 2 down here in the 8th inning. Curveball. 1-2. Ball and 2 strikes to Baptiste. Him out. Strikes out the side, does Wetland, for the Phils. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left. We go to the bottom of the 8th, 8-4 Montreal.
When my doctor said to start exercising, I knew I wasn't 25 anymore. That's when I called Bill, my nationwide insurance agent.
Jim had some questions, so we did a nationwide care review. We talked about his financial plan, life insurance, disability coverage, even retirement.
Yeah, we covered everything.
It turns out Jim was okay just the way he was.
Insurance-wise, right?
Oh, right.
The care review from Nationwide, because things change.
Nationwide is on your side.
They say everybody has a dream. In this country, it's often about having your own business. AT&T has more ways to take your vision to and from more countries than anyone else. Because AT&T believes the most wonderful product this country's given the world is the American dream. AT&T, far and away the best in the business.
Jet printers from Hewlett-Packard. It's easy to make it happen.
Good evening. I'm Neil Hartman with a sports break in the National League tonight. A game in progress in the 6th inning. Colorado has just taken a 3-1 lead from Los Angeles. Final now, St. Louis over Pittsburgh 6-3. Fred McGriff with his 14th home run. San Diego leads Houston 3-0 in the 9th. Tom Glavine picks up his 8th win. Atlanta 2-1 over New York. It was Cincinnati beating San Francisco 10-5. And this afternoon, it was Chicago 3 and Florida 0. That is a final. 8-4 is our score. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Here's Wheels and Harry.
All right, Neil, thank you very much. We go to the bottom half of the 8th inning, and leading off is Greg Colbrin, the first baseman, batting for the first time. 1 ball and no strikes to Colbrin. He's hitting .277. Jose De Leon came in the 7th inning. Off-speed pitch for a called strike, 1-1. Jerks a foul down the left field side. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Colbrin has 4 home runs. He's knocked in 19. I've been kind of platooning with Bolick, although they played Bolick both games of this series against the left-hander and the right-hander.
Crowd cheers as that ball goes in the Phillies dugout. Mitch has it.
There by Mitch Williams. Struck him out with a breaking ball. 1 down here in the 8th, and that'll bring on Delino DeShields. Phillies are back home on Thursday night against Florida. Florida's in Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Saturday night is the Upper Deck Heroes game. The 83 Phils, the National League champs, will be back. Sunday is cap day for all men 15 and over. Nostalgic uniform from the 1933 season. Then Atlanta moves in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Don't forget, Wednesday is a business person special at 12:35. For tickets, call 463-1000. Two balls and no strikes to DeShields, who's taking the collar tonight. Nothing for 4. Three and nothing. That one through there for a strike. 3-1. Popped him up. Third baseman Kim Baptiste waits. And that's 2 down, and that'll bring on Mike Lansing.
This is a game where the Phillies, have a chance to lose it down by 4 runs with 1 at bat to go. But what's happened tonight is Fergosi's in a better spot for the ball game tomorrow night with his bullpen. And Felipe Alou has to hope he gets a really good game out of Bottenfield, who's a spot starter at best. Fergosi hasn't had to use West or Anderson or Williams.
It's true.
And you're in the final game of the 3-game series tomorrow night. Excuse me, Aaron, it's a game the Phillies could easily be ahead in, as you mentioned earlier, because of some of the plays that the Expos have made at third base tonight.
Lansing, the hitter, has made 2 of them. He's also picked up 2 doubles as a hitter. He's had a good ball game. He's moved since to shortstop. He's had a fine game. 2 balls and no strikes to him. 3-0.
This guy's a nice-looking player.
Yeah, he is.
He can do some things defensively, as we've seen. He's got a little sock. He can hit some home runs and put the balls in the alley.
3 balls and 1 strike.
It's a good approach to the game. He looks like somebody who really likes to play and is trying to make the most of this opportunity.
Fouls it back and out of play. A full count. 3-2 to Lansing. Called third strike, struck him out. 2 strikeouts in the inning for De Leon. No runs, hits, or errors, and none left. We go to the 9th inning. It's 8-4 Montreal.
What is a mountain man's natural environment? Let's explore. A mountain man enjoys peaceful surroundings. A place where gentle winds blow. And the beauty of nature is all about. Only here does the mountain man find true happiness with a smooth bush beer or an easy drinking bush light. So, head for the mountains and find out how the true mountain man can make any environment a more natural one.
For the first time ever, the expansion Florida Marlins come to the Fed Thursday, June 17th and Friday, June 18th. Then the Upper Deck Heroes play Saturday, June 19th before the Marlins game. And it's a free vintage 1933 baseball cap for all men, Sunday, June 20th at 1:35. Order your tickets in advance. Call 463-1000.
We have
You know how fast your business is changing. But do you know which airline is changing faster than any other? Increasing service, enriching its frequent flyer program, forming a global alliance, making so many improvements, it can truly be said, in the history of aviation, no other airline has made so many changes so fast, and all of it's for you.
Travel arranged through U.S. Air with daily non-stop service to L.A., San Francisco, San Diego, and Seattle to the West Coast. U.S. Air begins with you.
After 8 innings of play, Montreal 8, the Phillies 4. Tomorrow at 7:30, don't miss Real Stories of the Highway Patrol. Catch a special episode after tonight's Phil's Expos game, only on PHL 17. Mickey Morandini takes a strike. Morandini is 0 for 2 with a couple of walks. Milt Thompson has moved into the on-deck circle. He will bat for Jose De Leon. And then it'll be Lenny Dykstra. 2 strikes. Wetland struck out the side in his first inning in the 8th. Gave up a double and a walk. Double to Kruk, walk to Incabilia. With 3 pitches. 4th strikeout for Wetland. And that'll bring on Milt Thompson as a pinch hitter for De Leon. Milt hitting at .233 as a pinch hitter. He's nothing out of 6. Phil's had a 6-game winning streak going into this one. Bouncing ball to DeShields. Thompson's retired. It'll bring on Lenny Dykstra. Dykstra is 2 for 4, a double, a single, struck out, walked, and struck out. Outs and nobody on base here in the 9th. Fouled it back.
And Tommy Green about to lose his first game of the year, and he flirted with it the other night in New York. He's had 2 poor outings in a row.
This one wasn't as bad as one in New York in that he pitched behind everybody in New York. Looked like he just made some mistakes when he was ahead in the count tonight. 0-2 pitches, 1-2 pitches. In New York, he was pitching behind just about everybody and walked 3 in the short time he was in there.
His next outing is scheduled for Sunday at the Vet against that knuckleballer Charlie Huff.
No, Eisenreich could be in the lineup in that game.
Oh, yeah.
3 balls and a strike.
Larry Bowe will get him ready by throwing knuckleballs during batting practice. Wetland cannot get a save in this game because when he came in, the score was 8-4, so he's going to pitch 2 innings and get no save.
But obviously, this is a game that Lou really wants to win. He wasted no time in getting Brian Barnes out, who was in trouble all night. But Barnes would be the winner of this game.
Yep, he went 5.
Full count to Lenny Dykstra. He popped him up, foul and playable. Colburn makes the grab, and this ball game is over. Montreal has won it by a score of 8-4. Phillies down in turn of the ninth. Expos win 8-4. Good relief pitching by Montreal pitchers, especially by Jeff Acero and John Wetteland, as the Expos even this series of 1 game apiece and halt the Phillies' 6-game winning streak. 8-4 final Montreal. Back with the totals in a wrap in a moment.